So here we got a lawnmower that belongs to some of my friends. It was donated to them, and it wasn't running a couple weeks ago, so I went and just took the gas tank off, drained the gas, opened the bowl of the carb and sprayed some cleaner and stuff in there, put fresh gas in it, and put a spark plug I had laying around, and it fired up and ran and was able to mow and all this stuff. So it sat for about a week or two, and my friends are saying it wouldn't start for them yesterday, so this is going to be a first video of trying to get this thing back going, and it may or may not have helpful content, but I'm just going to try to take you through what I'm going to do and see if I can get this thing going. I think what's going to be key, probably just some starting fluid, trying that out first, and giving it some cranks with this, and then we'll just go from there and maybe take the gas out again and clean out the bowl, but we'll just give this a shot. So basically I'm just going to take off this air box right here, the screw, and allow this to get some air right here. Give this puppy some spray and let her eat. So let's give it some pulls. Looks like the spray's helping, which it should. So we're gonna turn the gas up on it. Give it a shot of spray again. So I'll see the sparks running. The sparks working if it's combusting on the spray. I was thinking maybe the gas isn't really getting in there. So that's probably, if it doesn't run, that's going to be the issue. Yeah. I think that once the spray gets basically burnt up, the mower is not getting any more gas in the combustion chamber. So I'm just going to take this gas line off and probably loosen the carb bowl and go from there. So we're back, and I just removed the gas tank from the mower, so the gas tank's here. Last time I took it off, I just held it on with enough screws so that it wouldn't wobble around and stuff. So you can see here it is, and I had to cut this little piece of plastic so I could get around the pull cord without having to take the pull cord out and all that stuff. So there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's just for the looks, really. So I mean, gas is coming out of the nozzle, not great, but it's coming out. I'm gonna hold this up with the trusty starting fluid so that it won't leak out of the exit here. So we're gonna look over here at the fuel line, and I mean, it connects here, and you can take this carb off pretty easy. I'm gonna just remove this whole assembly, air box, and a couple of these screws, and it'll come off, and I'll just clean out in there and then show you once I get some of this stuff removed what it looks like and what I'm gonna do. So catch you back soon. Alright, so I took the intake off, and it's just two little bolts, 8mm, that go right there on the throttle body, essentially, I guess what it'd be called. And as you can tell, I took the bowl off, and there's the float. And check out, this is inside the bowl. I don't know how easy it is to tell, but there's a lot of junk in there. So that's not necessarily a great thing, so I'm going to clean that out, try to clean that float up a little bit, and then really all I can do is put it back together and then see how it goes. So, but you can definitely tell there's a lot of junk in there. Clean this thing up. I don't think I had to do this last time. I just cleaned the gas out because there's water in the gas, and it was running great. But I guess, you know, there's definitely a lot of junk. So we'll see what happens when we clean this stuff out. So I cleaned the bowl out and just cleaned all that stuff up best I could. But one thing I noticed is, so the choke is operates this like little butterfly valve thing, and so what happens is, so this is like full throttle, ready to go, but when you choke it, you know, you do that, but this spring isn't strong enough actually to pull the choke closed. So I'm thinking once the choke gets turned off and then people try to start it again, it's not actually choking it, it's allowing all the air to come in. So that's probably just going to be something you have to figure out or mess with once I get this intake back on, is, you know, making this choke work from the outside. When the intake's back on, it's a little harder to get to. I'm going to go ahead and set it closed so that when I put the intake on and the gas tank back on, the choke will already technically be on, and then I can turn it off once it's running. But to restart it, I'll have to reach down here and knock this choke closed. So that's no choke. Should be no choke, but you gotta flip the switch there. So we'll see what happens. Alright, so we're back here. I just want to make sure just one thing. When you're putting this throttle cable back on, that this metal part right here should be placed behind this bracket, so that when you put this in here, it sits like that, and this is a little tougher, I guess, and it's more suitable to be clamped down by this bracket here. So I know that sometimes the first time I did it, I didn't have it set up right and the throttle wasn't acting correctly, so just make sure you do that. And we're about to put this thing back together. This fuel line, I think, might have some cracks in it. It's pretty dry rotted and it's not very long, but not very flexible at all. It's rubber, but it doesn't really bend. It's pretty stiff, so hopefully that's not too big of an issue, but I think we're going to get this thing going. So, peace. Alright, I think everything's basically back on to the point where at least I can start it and see if it'll run. So I'm just going to give it a couple pulls and see what happens. The old trusty starting fluid. Oh yeah. Well, there you have it. It runs. So I think the whole thing with the choke is kind of a problem. So if I pull it back now to the run setting or the idle, we'll see if it'll start. Well, it's running right now, so it's got way too much oil in it. I can show that real quick. here's the dipstick, and clean it off. I may try to just drain some of it out. I got some of that Marble Mystery Oil. I might just drain some of it out. But you can see the full line is way past. Full line's probably halfway where you can see the oil ends. So it's got a lot in there. It doesn't look great, but it runs right now, so I might try that. But overview, I just took the tank off, opened up the bowl and cleaned it out in there, and cleaned the intake, sprayed some starting fluid in there, messed with the choke. You could see once it got running, it was good. So that's about it. And if I drain the oil off, I'll show you what I do for that. So I got the mower just kind of held down under there by my bag of tools, so we got a massive wheelie going on, but this gives us access to the drain plug. The drain plug is got like a 3/8 drive, like sunk head in there. So I'm just gonna put this ratchet with the 3/8 drive on there and loosen it and try to catch as much of it as I can in that little bucket. I'm about to see if it's a fail or not, but we're gonna go for it. So you see right here is the drain. So I'm just gonna get this in there. Might use a drive without right here. Let's get that shot. Might just double it up here. So, broke loose for sure. And I'm not sure where this oil is going to come out, or if much is going to come out with it jacked up. Sorry for the pretty terrible camera work here, but alright, I'm gonna call that enough. Let's see where it sits on the stick. I don't want to drain it all, but it definitely had too much. Ugh. So you can see I drained. That was it's an 18-ounce container, but that was just some kind of candy. So I mean that's probably half a quart. So I'm gonna just get this hand tight, this drain plug, and then we will check it with this here in a second. So I'm gonna check the oil now that we drained some. Put that down on there how it's supposed to, like that. Come out. And so now you can see it's not on, it's at the add point, so expected that. We're going to add some Marble Mystery Oil and some Standard Oil. So I'll do that and come back and check. So I made it back from the store. I rode my bicycle down to the gas station and just got some cheap oil to put in this. I just got this gas station brand, non-synthetic, just 30 weight for this bad boy. So we're gonna put some oil in it check the levels and fire up. We put some of this stuff in the oil. I don't really know exactly what it does or what it claims to do, but I do know it says you can use it on the bottom. So just gonna go for this, the big fill, long distance pour. Well, not too bad. Incrementally check it. That might have been too much, but hey, I had a lot in there before and it ran. So clean that off. It's almost right at it. So I'm just going to give a little bit more and we'll call it good. I didn't drain all the oil in it, so you can, on the dipstick, there's like some obviously burnt oil, not necessarily burnt, but used, and some clean oil, so it's better than what it had in it, which was that. So I'm just going to leave the camera running and try to fire this thing up, make sure nothing's underneath it. It up already in the plug, so we're going to just try to pull it. I got a feeling that choke fixed, so let's see here. Where's it at? Try that. Almost there. Little starting fluid, I think it's gonna be good. Take this air box back off. Boom shakalaka. Lightly put that on there. Let's go.